They're going after the overnight highs, which we mentioned earlier. Let me check the short-term charts if we still have the makeups. The 15-second chart is no longer valid. The short on the 15-second, the 1 minute still is, like on the cusp. So the 586.2 target is still there, but definitely not as happy as before. So now it's about testing the overnight highs and what these guys want to do. My goodness, this one just, who is the leader of the pack on the XLs? It must be technology related. Okay, and NVIDIA made a higher high by a few pennies. So now XLK, SMH will pitch in. So the XL posse made a higher high. Weird. So this morning, these guys were leading and they're struggling to break out. And these guys were lagging and they're leading now. Pretty weird. So expect a burst here. This day can be a plus 2% day if they want to, if they want it. And now it's up to the mega caps to see if they want to change the game or not. The VIX futures have held after falling and losing the floor, so they're approaching a level that they're trying to stabilize in. Let's look left on this guy. Let's revisit the credit call spreads. Maybe they're back available. No, they're not. So this morning we started with 59.35 credit call spread. Then those premiums disappeared. We went to 59.25, and those premiums are still not there. So if you want to sell a call spread right now, you're going to have to step up to 59.20 maybe. 59.20. It'll give you $50 or $55 for expiration for today. That is the easier way to short the market on days like today. We have multiple leaders today, or willing leaders. You know, they sell point A to point B. No, they sell basket A to buy basket B, and then when they get rid of that, they buy basket C. So they're tag teaming bulls. The comments in the room and the spirit out there is bull, 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 bull. They celebrate bad news. They celebrate good news. They celebrate the removal of the bad news. They don't know what they want to celebrate. So if we focus on the levels, we avoid getting wrapped up in the talking points. And the levels from this morning are 5912 on the ES, and that's coming up ahead of us, above us. There's a chance that if we don't break out of 5912 in the next 24 hours, that we would be at 5845. That would be one of the ways a chart looking like the ES would unfold. The breakout is available. The VIX is saying go do it if you want to. But if they don't do it, 5912, 5915, they might revisit the lows. And if they do, they might overshoot because there's no reason, there's no visible way of saying, okay, we're going to go there. If you look at it, it's just too damn bullish. Ryan's words, get out of the way. You can't get more bullish sentiment than this. So, representing the world out there. I don't trade comments like that, but it does represent what's out there. Who's buying, who's selling. Gex wise, for me, the pressure is downside. 5900 SPX is the biggest magnet. It's not that big, but it's the biggest one this morning. The SPY GEX 587.86 is the largest, so that's downside pressure. That's what I see. The SPY calls were buried in calls already, and the day has barely started. So upside from here shouldn't be easy. The downside scenario should be easier, just at least to revisit the 586.80 breakout. If you look at the volume profile on the left is full of holes, that's not pretty. I would expect headlines to break out to change that, because the normal price action is not allowing for it. So we are headline ridden. We either take off and go ballistic, or we flush low one candle. You remember that long wick that they did last week? Eliminate the need to go down to revisit. So, for example, if we left this guy right there as an open gap, we did, and they do one candle like this and they go back up, that means they just closed it. There was no need to come back to it. The longer we take to play this setup out, the deeper the setup becomes. As long as we're not broken out. We break out, we finish we change the conversation to tomorrow. So these guys are broken out. What about these? Can they do it? So you see that red W that says we did almost target 1. We can do target 2 somewhere inside of this candle, which are the overnight gaps over 3 nights, because Friday night we had a Sunday Monday session. So really we want to break out to the highs of, what was that, 512, 514 before we come down and revisit. How many open holes are we going to leave in the charts below? The bulls are not very smart these days. They're just what about the IWM? Oh yeah. For example, the IWM. Okay, so check this out. The IWM lags and then explodes and then collapses. That is a collapse today. And then look at this. Look at these candles. How often do you see candles like these out of nowhere? I mean, this was a drop, but it looks like a regular drop. Pop, 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 pop. This, that's pretty hilarious. That is hilarious. And they don't have mega caps. So no. The only way I'm shorting these days for me is whenever they burst on some BS headline or they hit resistance zone, I sell credit call spreads against it. Are you talking about the IWM? Yeah, I already have some. Sure, you can deploy some credit call spreads. No, because the whole thing is going to explode or change on Wednesday and Thursday. So for today, I'm trading the overnight sessions. What happened over the weekend? 59.12.5, I just spoke about it. Better break out from it. Otherwise, you're open to a disappointment, a headline that would flush the whole day. They have every soldier on the planet right now plowing. Everybody's pushing in, right? There's no weak spots, nothing. You look at the XLF, it's up huge. XLV, which was lagging before, is up huge. The XLI is up huge. Those three are 30% of the SPY. Then you have 30% of the SPY up here. They're up huge as well. So everybody's pitching in. Nobody can rest. You have fear on the retreat. You have hope. You have Momos screaming, buy calls, buy calls. Nobody looking down, nobody worried about anything. Great. Let's go then. Why are we still below the overnight low? Where's the NQ? Phew, hard to see anything on this with this. Okay, so the Nasdaq blew past that. Why not the ES? Let's put the Qs on the 1 minute chart here and see what's going on. These guys need to step up. I don't understand this mathematically. Something is weird. What is DCB? If it's clean. If it's not clean, don't say it. Oh, a dead cat bounce. No. We're chopping. That's a 1 second candle from the CPI. They fell below it. Lava. Let's go. And now they're above it. Let's see by the end of the day if we're inside of it. That was a 1 second fight weeks ago that has served as support, solid support, when we were bullish prior to last week. And clearly a struggle zone because we fell below it today, even though fractionally so. Okay, so stopping out. I mentioned it earlier. Early in the day, I'm brave. And especially in the credit spreads. If my credit spread gets under fire, I don't back out easily. Later in the day, don't do that. Don't keep yourself in a position to where your back's against the wall. NVIDIA just broke out. It's the leader of the pack. It's the one that's in focus this week. I'll use Ryan's words, front running the earnings. Expectations are through the roof. Fear is set aside for now, right or wrong. I thought for sure the other day couple months ago, in the last 2 months, I don't remember when the market went crazy. When the deal was that all other tariffs are delayed except for China. Remember that? Not the last set of headlines, the ones before it. I don't remember when. The markets went crazy big because of that headline that said all tariffs are on hold except for China. What was the number on that? What? That's the same headline from last night. The tariff thing or over the weekend. I don't understand. It's so confusing to track. So that's why I don't look at it. Markets are up 1.5, 1.9, and 1.8%. I'll tell you what, the upside potential on the small caps should be $2 of IWM on this breakout from the overnight that they're trying to accomplish. They're doing it here. Let's see if they can. If they don't, and if for whatever reason we lose today's lows, we drop $2 to $3 from there on the IWM. So numbers wise, let's see. They can get to 210, 10.2. And if they lose the lows from today, they will get back to the bottom of Friday. The bottom of Friday on the IWM was extremely bullish. The way they did it, whoosh, big drop. They flushed everybody out. If we lose 196.5 on the IWM, whoa, floodgates lower. But that's a giant if. We have 2 sets of supports before then. Corey, that question from you? Yikes. Yikes. Somewhat disappointing, sir. We don't ask why, we just drink the Bud dry. Red tick alert. Red tick alert. I know what I know, and for as long as it works, I continue doing it. Seriously, if you want to keep up with the why you go, you would need a neck brace. They change your minds on the drop of a hat. We don't have individual thought. Everybody is a sheep. We're just acting like drones. Do you remember watching TNG, Star Trek: The Next Generation? Have you heard of that? Go watch it. Pick an episode that has the Borg in it. We are the Borg. The market is one giant Borg. They have been assimilated. I will not be assimilated. I will be a Ferengi going around selling stuff. Although I'm a bit taller than the Ferengi. You know what I mean. The market has become a unit. Oh, Wolf. Okay, okay. You are as tall as a Ferengi. Burubdish. You hit, I hit back. Bad news out of the Klingon Empire. No, what I meant by the Borg is that the market is acting like one unit because we all get the news as fast as anything and we all can act as fast as anything. So the news hits the tape. The fast machines trade just a little bit faster than everybody else, but everybody else trades fast too. So we move like one unit. You just need to know how to either play along with the unit or zoom out and see where you can play on the fringe. You can sell to the people that are not very good. You know, the collective is doing well, right? So supposedly if the markets are up, everybody's making money. Not true, but that's the collective, right? A bunch are losing because they're trying to do the same and they're failing. You want to be the seller to those people. I don't want to beat the market. I want to take advantage of the people that don't know what they're doing. Every once in a while, you can beat the market by seeing where the market is wrong and you just fight the collective and you win. They're getting their cash assimilated. That's funny. Okay, so we're buying dips, right? There was a dip right here on the bottom right-hand corner in the QQQ. Let's see if they make a higher high out of this dip, right? This little tiny dip right here. We are buying dip. That's a fact. We are a bullish day. That's a fact. Buying puts is financial suicide without a metric of sorts. The rising wedges still point lower. They're just not having the chance to actually take hold. They will if they stop making higher highs. So let's see. This is the first opportunity to not make a higher high off of this one candle on the QQQ. These are 1 minute, so nothing fancy about it. I'll zoom in. This one. I find it very hard to believe that we can stop them, but that will be sign number one. Let's see. The IWM also you should focus on that. So the IWM, if it spikes one more time today, it could trigger a wolf wave that will force it to consolidate maybe tomorrow or the day after. We'll see if it spikes. I need to zoom in. This 30-second chart is too large. They have plenty of room today to go on the IWM. If we look back 30 days, they have room to go to 207.5. They have room to go to 203. You heard that right, 203 and 207. We are at 206. That's miles away from either part. What? That candle was rejected violently. Test number one. It's like, imagine you're trying to break a door down, you hit it with your shoulder, boom, it rejects you. You take a step back and you run at it with more steam. You break through, you go to 520, 519.8. So they took a step back to come back at the door. They have a lot of soldiers. Who's going to step up to the plate? Alphabet did its job. Get up, Apple. So Apple can go to 202.5 today. That's the upside potential. 195 or lower would be the downside potential. And it's doing nothing. I mean, it's up, but it's stuck. Everything is up, but it's stuck. XLV, chug, chug, chug. The XLF is underperforming, which is good for me. I'm short XLF components. So that part is good today. Thank God for being, believe it or not, me short Berkshire is green today. I don't know why. Interesting. Maybe I should load up on that one and just close everything else. Berkshire has been a piggy bank for me. Never in a million years did I think I would be making a ton of money that pay my bills from Coca-Cola and Berkshire Hathaway doing options. I'm saying it like I cannot believe that is the era we're in. Coca-Cola, I mean, that's like 80s. Philip Morris too, I could do that, but I haven't. All right, so MSTR just made a lower low than the last 10 days at least. That's what's on my screen. This can open the trap door. I don't know how they will deal with that because I don't think Bitcoin is that weak right now, right? But this, what's going on with how do I add? Gosh, I can't stand it. I can't believe they took away that ability to add a stock by going like this and add it to the watch list. ZBTC. So Bitcoin is indecisive today. So Bitcoin is not that weak, but MSTR is falling apart. But let this serve as an example when people chase Bitcoin up using Bitcoin stocks, and I always say, don't. It's only temporary. Perfect example. If you look at Bitcoin stocks like Mara, I bet you Mara and whatever, Riot, they're not anywhere near their all-time highs, but Bitcoin did make an all-time high. So right there is proof positive that it's not the right thing to do. If you want to chase Bitcoin with Bitcoin. Not even a Bitcoin ETF is at all-time high, which is pretty mind-boggling. Let's see the grayscale. Anybody remember the grayscale Bitcoin? Was it BTC? What was it? GBTC. Look, did they do? Okay, so is that an all-time high? Yes. Okay, so that one did. Beto didn't. A higher high on the back of XLV, plow, 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 XLI, not the XLF. So there's that potential. Maybe when the XLV is tired, they go and buy the XLF and Apple. XLF and Apple together are a strong piece of the S&P. So they can take the baton and take it to another level. I have a nickname for this year's market, if you're interested. The Swiss cheese market. The charts are Swiss cheese. Are we going to 591 today? How about we look at what's in front of us first, 588.6. Yes, if we break out from 5912.5 ES, we have the opportunity to make it a 2.5% day, 3.5%, whatever they want up there. All you need is somebody from the government say, we just struck a deal. We've got $6,000 trillion coming in. And guess what? We're not going to release the cockroaches on the people until next year. Yay! Bye, bye, bye. Yeah. If we break out, anything is doable. If you tell me if I would buy a 591 call based on your comment, I mean, you can. The upside potential from breaking the overnight high should be as big as the overnight range, is what I'm saying. So we have 588 to 585, $3 of upside, give or take. So 591 is doable. You want to see who leads us up there? XLF, Apple. You can get it done. NVIDIA potential 137, I told you on the breakout, and it did break out. It's shy about taking that 137. There we go. Is that a new high? While I check my messages. Tariff timeout. Trump's surprise move sends marked soaring, but for how long? Question mark. Plus how retail traders are calling the shots and more. Headline from Benzinga. No answers, just questions. What was the credit? Okay. We talked about several. The original one, 59.35, that's dead. The second original one, that's 59.25, that's also dead. Well, it doesn't pay enough for me. It's only 35. Still working, I should say. 59.20, $55 if you want to start it now. I don't have a problem starting it now. The purple boxes are slightly below current price. 5,900 is the largest SPX magnet. 5,900. Are we there? Almost $5-6. And so that's 0.5 SPY. Excuse me. Highest SPY magnet is 586, but 87 is also a magnet, and 88. So we're in the zone. Getting here is one thing. Getting out of here is something else. Just judging by the gamma magnets. Okay. Now, charts wise, you're breaking out. Technically, you should have a huge target upside from here. Sentiment has flipped completely. We said that in the last 10, 14 days, maybe 2 weeks. And now it's going to the other side of the extreme, to the point where just really, any news is good news again. Headline breaks out, they go up. Knee-jerk reaction is up. The knee-jerk reaction is up. That's the best way of saying it. On the way down, when people were scared, the knee-jerk reaction, oh my God, what did he say? Down. Now it's up, up, up. The XSP suggests $3 of downside would be great today. The IWM, not much. We're okay. The IWM options are somewhat okay. No issues. The Qs also, believe it or not, are okay. I mean, there is room to fall, but not a lot. But there's no downside pressure. The S&P, there is downside pressure. $2-ish, give or take. Maybe $3, depends on the ETF. All right, let's talk about trades. What are we trading? Slow, not necessarily fast. What are we trading? If I'm holding the put from this morning, I mentioned the put, it's down 50%. If I haven't exited it, I wouldn't here this early in the day. If I didn't stop out based on, say, 35% or X number of pennies or levels, might as well see the next half hour and see what happens. You should set stops. Early in the day, you can recover. Late in the day, it's suicide. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. The downside from there, I mentioned 2 numbers for you. So they're going to sell rallies in MSDR, and the downside can be, I mentioned 2 numbers. Let me see, $22 or $52, $32 or $52. I can't remember. So let's say 38.70. Yeah, $30 or $50 of downside. Why do I have TTD here? I guess we'll keep it. I like how you guys speak with complete confidence. Until this, we're not doing that, and buy, and sell. I don't know where you guys get that confidence. I have to say it. That confidence is misplaced. It's a friendly comment. What does it pay, Mike? 217 delta 16. That's fine. That's low. A 16 delta only pays $48. Can you price out a 16 delta credit put spread and see how much it pays for the same time period? If you're there. Okay, I'll do it. Same. No clues. I missed a red tick. A red tick alert. Red tick alert. I went to get some water. Okay, interesting development on the QQQ. Sell, 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 sell. The reason why I wanted to check on the IWM credit put spread side quotes to see what the market makers are assigning. Last week, maybe the week before it, they were charging twice more for puts than calls at the same level. Delta. So if I go to buy a call delta at 16 and buy a put delta at 16, they were asking 2 times for the put. Let me check, actually. I just looked at spreads. So the 16 put delta is $118. A 16 call delta is $82. So that's quite a bit cheaper. So they're charging more for puts on the IWM. So sell calls, buy a put spread is what the deal is. In fact, I shall do that today. Sell a call spread, buy a put spread. $217, $220. Whoops, clear. So $217, $220, $3 credit call spread. You can do it $218, $223 if you wanted to. Let's see, 218, 223. No, 218, 221. Yep, 217, 220. Let's see if it fills. What? Let's see here, $3. Huh. I'm asking for the less than the I'm giving up all the money and they're not filling. I know it's in June. That's a monthly contract and I'm giving it up and they're not filling. Wow, I had to really give it up. And they filled back at a higher level. Okay. So pretty wild. Let's see here. I'll tell you what I was doing. IWM bearish bet for June, mid-June. This works well to balance the folio. Nope. I'm going to type it here in the corner. Ticker IWM. Sell to open. 217 call. Buy to open. 220 call. You can change it. Make it 220, 222, $5 wide, $10 wide, whatever you want. This fits well in a smaller account. Collect 0.35 credit. Expiration 6/20. You can make it notes. Okay, so that's the write-up right here. Can you guys hear me? I feel like I'm talking to nobody. Okay, thanks. This can be done with the RUT. Yeah, you can do the same for July if you're traveling in June. That's pretty sharp of you. Now, you can make this trade different. You can add a debit put spread. I don't have a reason to add a debit put spread today. Let's say tomorrow they go higher and my trade starts to go sour. I will start seeing if I can add another debit put spread to it. So, if I have a really bullish portfolio, like I'm long all stocks and I don't have any shorts, I would even buy a debit put spread and maybe make that for July. Yep, I would pair it with a July debit put spread or a June 30th debit put spread. But then they'll be say, oh, holidays and whatever. The debit put spread is going to cost the same. So let's see. I buy 205, 200 debit put spread. That's $166. Wow, they're not filling. Holy cow! I'm paying over and whatever, and they want me. They want my firstborn. Phew. Dude. Okay. Let's go and modify it. The trade setup. We're stalled. The QQQ showed some weakness. We do have a range for today on the Qs. That's important. These guys have shied away. Nvidia is back into its range from the morning. We now have an orange box, which is completely above the orange box from Friday. Not completely, to a large degree. But anyway, we have our first stall of the day. Let's see what happens there. Credit call spreads are working. So I want to short the market, but without getting in front of the NVIDIA earnings. So that leaves me looking at the small caps. There are no mega caps in there. It will rally, but not as much. So trade setup. Okay, how do I turn that off? Hide chatbot shortcut. Thank you. Jesus, that's such an annoying thing. Okay, I'm back with you. Okay. I'll deal with one setup at a time. 205, 210 has been pivotal for a long, long time. Let's see if they have it in them to take it out. I'm looking at logic, I'm looking at charts. The logic is, where is the next leg higher going to come from? What's the talking point? What will the RUT equivalent be? Let's double check. Like in 2023, you sold the world on upside from AI. What's the upside now? The headlines will fade. How many times are you going to rally on bull crap headline of tariff, not tariff, tariff, not tariff, rally or drop? How many times are you going to move on that before you say, hey, wait a minute? And then you have to trade the fundamentals. Like, do the fundamentals support another 20% rally? Watch the video. If we break out on the NASDAQ, which we could do this week into an all-time high, this week, Thursday morning, we can open at an all-time high on the NASDAQ. The target is 20% higher. If it was chart ABC that just broke into from its period of time we're looking at, it has to confirm on a weekly basis, so we would need a couple of weeks to confirm that target. But that's the target. Do the fundamentals now support a 20% level, higher level with the current fundamentals? I would need new talking points. Let's say NVIDIA comes out and says, you know what, this AI thing, guess what? I think we can do the same with the robotics. The next week, we would be at all-time highs and targeting 20%. That's what happened in 2023. Okay. Maybe the expectations are that they're going to say something unbelievable. They already deliver unbelievable things, but people are not as impressed of late. It's the talking points. You need a new talking point. Trump talking points will fade. Tariff this, not tariff that. Breaking the world, threatening to break the world, scaring them down into a correction, and then relieving the threat is not good incremental news. It just gets us back to where we were, right? What takes us incrementally higher? All right, let's go find the RUT equivalent of this. Because after all said and done, it has to be based on financial sense, right? So the difference with the RUT, it is AM settled. So when time comes, you have to deal with it. 4,000 contracts. So I want to be at 13, maybe 13 delta. 2210, 2205. Let me see here. 2210, 2215 credit call spread. You can even, 2215, 2220 if they fill it, but I think 2210 will give you $50. Same June 20th. The KRE. Okay. So the KRE has been what I've been watching. It tells me what the financials are going to do. So the KRE are up a lot today, but they still have all the problems they had last week to deal with. So the sweep is down up to 56. What do you mean? Calls at 56 or puts? Because we're above 56 right now. That's pretty weird. Okay. The small caps just exploded. We're up 2% on the small caps. Oh my gosh, I hate it that they get to levels that are important, and what they do is just they skedaddle right through them. They should struggle between 205 and 208, and this is the most easy travel they've gone through in the last few hours. Anyway, what happened on Friday, I mentioned it, was very bullish in the small caps chart. I mentioned it on Friday. I mentioned it in the video. Maybe I cut it out from the video. I don't know. But I'll show you what I mean. This wick is as bullish as it gets. It literally says, holy crap, no way, man, let's go. And it matches up with prior levels. I don't remember what this box was, but it's not even like a few pennies off. And prior targets and prior stalls. So they confirmed the breakout with this flash. And now they can look and break out from this and go to high heaven. So I can explain all the upside targets. What I'm saying is, in the end, you need fundamentals to back it up. $5,900 SPX is still a strong magnet. So once we get there, we're $4 away, not even. It's not going to be easy to get away from there. Now, 586 through 588 SPY are three magnets, 586 to 588 SPY. We're there. So going away from there should be hard. Based on the gamma exposure from TradyTix, I would not own calls up here, if you believe in that. Let's go see the algo flow. It should be positive. Not a red tick in sight. Let me go there. Absolutely. Slight divergence in the last few minutes. Slight. Hardly to mention. We're barely positive. That's pretty interesting. We did not get positive algo flow until an hour after the open. That's bizarre. Really? Wow. I forgot. We have friends on YouTube today. Hello, hello. Hey, Brad. Where are you at? Oh, heads up. I will change the password at the end of the month. So if you're from Benzinga, I won't be able to communicate with you about the password inside the live room, chat room over there. So I cannot answer you about simple stock stuff inside the chat room there. You want to reach out to me, you can email me. I'm not going to disrespect them like that. That would be just not nice. So those are the two places you can reach us, or go sign up at simplestocks.com. I will change the password, and we will probably lose about 40 people. I expect it to have 150 at the end going forward, trying to rebuild up back to 250 organically. If you want to stay with us, that would be outstanding because we know you and I think we work well together. I don't need to justify the results of it. And if you guys are posting that much money being gained, nobody should blink about spending $80 or $90 in order to, not even $65, I think, $69 if you get the weeklies, the monthly, the yearly setup. So it should be a no brainer decision. Hopefully you make it. Any little red ticks. I'm not looking at the charts. I'm looking at the gamma pressure. I know the charts will follow. That's great, Eddie. That's great. Believe it or not, people that post a lot of wins here squawk about spending the money. So I'm just saying, it's either they're either not telling the truth or it's just a mindset. $588.6, easy line, easy round number. It's right there. Why aren't they taking it? Who's the next soldier to take us? Let's go. Amazon failed here 2 days ago. Well, 2 trading days ago. For today here, you can. You just need to know that if they break out of here, they're going to go to 590. So if you have a credit call spread in trouble, you might want to move it. And if you're opening a credit call spread, you should be open to getting in trouble soon. They just made a higher high, correct? Yeah. You're welcome. It's a pleasure, Mark. It's a pleasure. I'm lucky to have a collection of people that are nice. If you post on Instagram something, you get 1,000 trolls making fun of you, and then you go check out their skills and they sound like they're illiterate farts, yet they're criticizing you. We luckily don't have those people in here. That's amazing. Yeah. So I did extend the courtesy because I know it was a shock to people. Also, I didn't jack up the price. I mean, I knew there'd be a wave of signups. And, if I was about profits, I would have jacked up the price before that, right? But nope. 5,920 is still safe. There's nothing safe. Statistically viable, yes. Your delta is 15. So the odds are in your favor if you're the seller. But this market is on steroids and they can go and bury you in a minute. We have rising wedges, which inspire downsides. We have downside pressure, which inspire downside. We have magnets that don't allow for the spike. So if we pop, we will probably drop. If I have calls for the pop, I would scalp them on the breakout. I wouldn't buy calls on the breakout. The way to chase the breakout is to either be in calls already or let them break out and buy the call on the dip. It almost always comes. All right. There's not a lot of talking to do over the indices. We gapped up, we dropped, and then we rallied back. We made a higher high, and now we're stalled to see if we want to finish the higher high breakout. To finish the higher high breakout, folks, it's about $30 higher than here, 3 SPY dollars. So do we have it in us to go to 591, 592 today? Do you remember that number from this morning's note? Yeah. So that would be erasing last 2 days worth of failures. If you want to see it. SPX. Oh, okay. So we'll go to the SPY. You guys are used to that. Take out all the lines. That one, 592. 593 zone. Whatever happened on Wednesday, this is what we do now. We skip over important lines. How do we deal with adversity? We just gap over it. That's what we do. We leave another gap on top of a gap. I'm pretty sure I can find another gap just by looking left just a few. There we go. Boom. Swiss cheese market. That's what I mean. Swiss cheese market. Swiss cheese charts are not great, especially when we're talking about indices. Like a Swiss cheese chart in an NVIDIA story, okay. So now we have bearish setups on the ETFs and the megatechs. I would buy a put here if I haven't started yet. Which put? 589 put for today's expiration. How much is it? $1.10. That's pretty cheap. 1.08. To catch a drop down to the blue line, if it happens. That's just one last ditch effort because I have a bearish setup on two largest components of this thing that we're looking at. It is inside this box. This box is an unfinished candle from the left-hand side. They're called fair value gaps. Chances are they often have sellers in them. Yes, we have room to go to 590, 589.8, the top of the box. But let's see what happens with this burst. The Qs are on top of the... Okay, let me rephrase it another way. The bears have 20 minutes to bring us down to 588. 20 minutes-ish. How would I trade these gaps? I don't. On the way down, I look at them. I just recognize that they're below us and that we might have flash drops in order to fill them. The way they dealt with it last week is they threw one large wick and closed a bunch of gaps. NVIDIA's earnings. NVIDIA's earnings is a coin flip. We will look at the options data. It will take the market with it, up or down, we don't know. I covered that. Did you guys, if you're asking me questions now, did you guys watch my video from the weekend? I do a lot of homework. I just want to know what's being used. I don't see a lot of views, but some of you watch it on Benzinga territory, so I don't know. If you don't watch my video, make sure to have your own videos. One of my accounts is green. What is helping me? What just fell apart in my favor? That shouldn't be green. I'm short everything. Very interesting. I'm not so sure why I'm green. Palantir? Palantir giving up anything? Yeah, maybe Palantir. That's pretty weird. McDonald? It shouldn't be. Why should it be red? I'm short McDonald. I haven't checked on it. Let's go check. McDonald. No, I'm making money today in McDonald. Thank you. McDonald is very green today. KR is green today. Oh, maybe that. I'm green 10% on KR. I added last week, small ad. The sold calls are working, but I'm talking about the straight up puts. I bought July $68 puts, $67.50. They were red. I added some. They're green today. I'm going to leave them to trade. If the market spikes, KR is not going to follow. Most likely, money is going to come out of KR. Same with KO. But I'm not holding KO. GLD is working really, 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 really nicely. We're back to 40% profit on the GLD trade. Sweet. And it's in the money. So I'm not concerned about closing it, because when a debit put spread is in the money, that turns into a credit call spread behavior, which means time is your friend. You're not trying to beat the clock by scalping it. You gain by waiting, just waiting. Okay? The debit put spread I mentioned, the last one, was 312, 302. We are at 303. So almost all of it is in the money. So it will, as time ticks, it will grow. It will try to grow to be 10. It's now 5.7, 5.8. So if another week passes and we're staying at this level, it should be 6.8, if not 7. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm excited. Where is the bond market? The bond market is strong. They may have had a good bid. Or is it, did they happen, or is it a little bit later? The auction. The VIX just made a lower low, but not the VIX future. Slight differential there. It's slight, not that big. If I'm holding losing puts from earlier, this is where you need to decide whether you want to salvage the value or YOLO it for a whoosh lower. Bearish setups. Let's see. The 15-minute bearish setup is brewing, but that's too long to trade for this purpose. Same of the 5-minute. There is a rising wedge which should break down. Once it breaks down, it will revert most of today's greens. We don't know when that will happen. So, yep, time is of the essence. What time is it? 8:35. We've been open for 2 hours. We're trying to establish the orange box as support. If they do, if for the next 20 minutes or so, half hour, 25 minutes, whatever, for the next few ticks, 15-minute ticks, if we don't get back inside the orange box, we're going to go as much as half of it up or all of it up. So we can go another $1.50. So 590 and a half-ish is doable, or 592. So we look at the components. NVIDIA, it has the breakout, it didn't take it. Apple can be the differential maker. It's been the sleeper cell there. Amazon, it has a breakout. Can it take it? I'm puzzled with the Amazon. I'm going to tell you that my last 4 purchases are not from Amazon. I'm buying from AliExpress. I bought a monitor from AliExpress, and so far so good. A travel monitor. It's perfect. They copied one of the Asus models, $104. The resolution is as advertised, and it's a little thick for my taste, but it does the job. And the stand, the kickstand, houses the plugs. So I have thin monitors that I use already, but the plugs are on the edges of the monitor. So if you have 2 of them side by side on the table, you have to account for another 2 inches for the plugs sticking out. And if you buy 90-degree elbows, which you do, you lose Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt doesn't I don't know if they make Thunderbolt elbows to pass. You have a Thunderbolt cable, you have a Thunderbolt outlet, you put an elbow that is not transmitting the speeds, you kill the Thunderbolt effect. So you end up having these cords that stick out the sides. Well, this one, it sticks out the sides, but it's behind the monitor and halfway inside the monitor. So the cords are completely out of the way. Love that design. Debit call spread for June. Okay. That's somebody guessing up on the week. I mean, they have the momentum on their side. Let's see which ones they bought. 601. Why? Why not add the money? Good to canceled. I've never done a good to canceled order. Ever. Never would I admit to taking a good to canceled order. So this one is $3 wide and they're paying $100. I would rather come closer to current price. And it's a guess on the outcome of the week. As long as they have a thesis to buy it, I can't knock it. If they believe in it, they should consider doing a credit put spread to finance it. Let's say you spend $130 to open it. You can sell a credit put spread to bring you $100 on the SPX. One contract. So you would be long for free if you believe in that trade. This way, whatever money you get from selling that debit call spread, even if it's 80 cents, as long as they don't go through your credit put spread, it will be profit. Yeah, the spread would lose, but for you it would be profit. Did you hear? And did it make sense? The DAX is up 1%. Okay. What did the DAX do yesterday? Laurel, let me know you heard. Okay. That's somebody guessing up. You can. I like it a little bit lower. Why go up that high? But if you're guessing up, yep. And if you have a thesis for that, then you might want to consider financing it with a credit put spread. I wouldn't do it today. You're buying an up day. I don't know why you would do that. But if you have a thesis, go for it. Debit call spread combined with a credit put spread. You would be long for free. I don't know what you want to call it. Not an iron condor. Debit call spread with a credit put spread. It's two different verticals. You want to buy a debit call spread, you're spending $130. If you have conviction in that, you should have no trouble selling a credit put spread also. If you sell a $100 credit put spread on the SPX, you finance, 2/3 of that expenditure up there. So you spend $130 to buy your debit call spread, and you collect $100 to sell your credit put spread. As long as your credit put spread survives, your cost of entry in that trade is 30 cents. Any money you recover from selling the call spread would be gravy as long as it's more than 30 cents. Okay. Time for drink. I'll be right back. Hold up the market, all right? I'm here. Phew, I thought we were going to crash. Thank God we had a green tick while I was gone. Gamma 5900, largest. SPX. Gamma 517, largest QQQ. Huh. Okay, so the Qs do not want to lose 519. That's a trade today. If the Qs lose 519, there's a magnet to 517. 588, 87, 86 is the magnet for the SPY. Nothing says higher is logical. Yet the breakout is in front of us, so who's wrong? The VIX is stable. Very strange ticks in the VIX futures. The collection is pretty weird. You don't see that often. You see that behavior off hours. The floor on the VIX futures is so contrived right now, 20.1. It's hilarious. Check it out. Look at this. Ready to come down. You lose that, whoop, this goes pop. The VIX itself is not like that. Not perfectly down. Not perfectly drawn. MSTR, this dip definitely makes for a rising wedge potential. I mean, a sharp bounce potential. Don't chase it, but if you're trading that, you can probably find a reason to go long short term. Not for me though, but if somebody's trading, you can trade against these two candles. Nope, nothing for me. Nope, 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 nope. I told you to short calls. They were $2,000, like in theory, but I said the credit call spread would make sense. Otherwise, it locks up a lot of cash. But that's the stock that you can trade like that. I think it was something like the $900 call. I'm short the December $700 call. If I sold it naked, it went from 35 to 24 in 35 days. One would have given you $900 one in 35 days. But they lock up a lot of money for it, so it's not efficient. Okay. Respect that. Thursday. So that versus what I said overnight. In my video, I said the breakout is right there. NVIDIA will take the breakout to a new all-time high. The target of the all-time high is a 20% rally. So you're going to have to make up a bigger value than this in order to beat me. I got you covered. I'm on record being the most bullish bear out there. It's about open air. And when you have open air, the potential is the moon. Here's one way to do this. You short the market cautiously through credit call spread way out in time, and you buy calls shorter term. We pop, you profit from the calls, you debate whether you want to defend your credit call spread. You're set. God help us. We want to go to 592 today. The behavior above this brown box is 592. Nvidia hasn't looked at, but Apple is. Apple says, Nvidia, you rest. I got Amazon and we got this. Amazon just made a higher high, higher than Thursday. Weird that Amazon is leading. I started to say my last purchases have been from AliExpress. Amazon has competition. So I know why it's rallying. Trump did it a favor, I think. You guys told me that we now have to pay taxes on purchases from China. And the last two purchases, the pop up comes up which says, there's tax. You want to cancel the order? So, how many people have canceled, like, are believing in the Amazon advantage now because now AliExpress, if it was eating into, or Shamazon, Timu. Scamazon, Timu, same. Anyway, I think it's misplaced. Amazon now needs a new story. They need to come up with, they need to reinvent themselves like they always have been. This new guy, watch Ragu come at me. This new guy, I don't know this new guy very well. Yeah, JP Morgan calls are 59.05, but they are out to June 30th. So as long as Jamie Dimon can talk the market down to this level, within $60 of this level, by June 30th, they break even. No, check that. They don't. They need to be here. Jesse, that's his name? Jassy? I don't even know his name. He's not very impressive. I can't remember his name. Watch it be 2040. I'll say this new guy. I don't know. Jeff Bezos is busy with his girlfriend. 589 roll. What does that mean? Roll what? I don't keep track of your portfolio. Tell me what is your roll. No? Delta 20. That's logical. Amazon is about consumer confidence. That's very logical. There's a big pile of orders ready to transact above here. I would not be holding calls here. Whether you want to hold puts or not, that's a different thing, but I would not be holding calls. The second set of puts is flattish, so you can hold those with confidence for now. When I sell a credit call spread, I try to manage it based on odds of success, regardless of what I think of the market. So I look at my odds of success, I look at the time left, the risk, the gamma, the delta, and all of that. So yeah, it's like a method, right? I don't change my method just because. somebody this morning reached out and they said that they sold a put in Nvidia based on inspired by our actions on the way down. I think they had it for September or October. I'm going to say October. $60 put. And it's now, they collected more than $2 to open, and it's now worth 40 cents. So $40 to close. And they said they want to get rid of it. I said, congratulations, you made money off of somebody else's fears. I did one, and I shared it with you, and it was $3.90 for December, and that one is $60. So it's 85% of its values come into play. If it's locking up a lot of money, you want to free it. I don't think it is. It probably locks up $200 to $300 stops. So if you don't need the margin, let it work. There's no way Nvidia is going down to $60 where it's a panic situation. I mean, it could come down to 60, but it'll be a bargain buy. No, no, not nearly. Nvidia is underpriced. If you can argue valuation of IBM, Palantir, Coca-Cola, Kroger, the stock market, the S&P is priced in more than twice of what it usually is priced in at, and Nvidia is underpriced, which is why I respect the 20% rally, because you can argue for 2 or 3 stocks that are underpriced. I would have made that argument 15 days ago for any of the mega caps. Now only Nvidia I can argue for. Like Microsoft is not overpriced, but it's priced really well at 560, 570, 560, 460, sorry, 460. Where were the brave souls at 330 and 340 and 360 and 380 and 400 and 410 and 420? Now everybody loves it at 460. Higher highs in the VIX futures. They bounced off of that weird candle. Remember I showed you that weird candle? Okay. If it gets to 20.3, the VIX futures, that's a statement today. The highs of the day are in. You want to sell a call spread at the money and collect $110, you have my blessing. Stand in front of this bus, as somebody said this morning, 59.15. 59.15, how much? $115. 59.15 SPX. If you have the and if we get to 20.3 VIX futures, that could be a nice trade. So on the next pop, if we pop to 589.40 and the gamma doesn't change, the gamma is changing a little bit. Now I have 2 magnets, 5890 SPX and 5900. And guess which one is bigger? That's weird. 5890 SPX. So Linda, if you want to buy a put here on the SPX with a stop, I don't blame you. Delta 30, I'd stay in them. Your delta is not 30. You gave me a number that is not a 30 delta. 5920 is a 0.19 delta right here, right now. You must have sold next tomorrow, and even then that wouldn't be a 30 delta. Be different, be more. Okay. Out in time at Delta 30, I would stay in them. But make sure you have balance. Why you have so many credit call spreads? Apple. Told you. Sleeping giant. Guess what? Apple can go to 202.6. That's the number from this morning. It's still available. Because it beat overnight. Overnight, it had a giant 5-minute doji candle. It beat it. And that thing points to, I don't know, 205 on Apple. Hey, I have a trade for Apple. Let me go close it. I must be making money. I shared it with you. Apple, what was it? Iron Condor, yep. Went from 90 to 35. Take it off. It has $10 in the credit put spread at 170 and most likely $20 in the credit call spread. It's at 220. Okay. I don't know who that is. Yeah, that's what everybody's saying from last week. That the collapse in the bond market, that's an old headline. That person is late. The collapse of the bond market is why I took longs in the TLT. I'm saying that trajectory is not doable, therefore bet on the other side. So now I focus back on NVIDIA because now that Apple is joining the game, will NVIDIA now take its thing? So the 1 minute QQQ trade is still on my screen. These guys have done a lot, more than I expected today, these guys. Those are the ETFs. Now it's up to these guys to take it to the moon, and they have the potential. So if I go to a 5-minute chart, maybe I get some clues. 10-minute, 15, 30, 60. Nope. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds. Okay, so now we have a long wick. Let's see what they do with that long wick. What a day. Highly technical day. I mean, we're looking left, we're looking right. The VIX future is fading back into the base. Let's see if they get to 20.3. 20.3 on the VIX futures, not the VIX. VIX futures, 20.3. I can't show you because my ticks are delayed on TradingView. The S&P transaction for Friday, I believe. Let me see, when is that? No, weekly. Okay. The Friday GEX for the SPY is all at 590. Like by far, all the transactions for Friday are at 590. All of them. So this upside is not coming from these guys? Why is this green ticks and these are red ticks? What's going on here? Alphabet? What's going on? These are 30 second, 15 seconds. Okay, let's go to 15 second here to match up 1 for 1. Interesting. Hey, forgot about the YouTube people. What do I think of what? I don't see. Let's see here. Did I miss any comments? YouTube people, let me know if you have any questions. It's best to sell a credit call spread, which is what I said. Don't do both for sure. Don't do both. I have a discrepancy here. I have gamma pressure down and price action up, and I have the Qs that are not making higher highs. These are, and not on the back of this, maybe on a lower time frame of that. Yeah, so this is XLF, XLV, XLI, one of those XL thingy. TLT is breaking out, so something sensitive, rate sensitive, the XLF. So let's see here. So that was the banks. So Bank of America, yeah. So this was not text. Now we have the answer that they're tag teaming bulls, which is what we said earlier today. They're tag teaming the bulls. We're dealing with this long candle right there. The banks don't have the strength to sustain a rally longer than a few days. That's my assessment. That's why it upsets me when I see the stock market rally on the back of banks and then people misconstrue it. All right, let's go to the heat map. Everything is green. This is a legit green day. There are no nitpicky parts about it. Yes, the mega caps are greener than the rest, but it's a legit green day. Everywhere you look is nothing but greens. If I go to the Russell 1000, you can see that. There's no weakness. Yeah, a couple of stocks, but there's no weakness. Somebody said they're tempted to buy a call in UNH. I'm never tempted to buy a call in UNH. It is a headline stock. So if you buy a call, just be very active. Pick a number of dollars you want to risk and don't go beyond it. Don't add, whatever. Once we broke out into a new high, Tom, the target is, I forgot what I mentioned, 592-ish. So yeah, 5928. That's the edge of, it's not a harmonic, whatever you call it, regression, the regression analysis. Okay, so these guys can rest now, so these guys can break out. This breakout, folks, will take us to a different level altogether. This breakout will be the top of the red box easy, and they're avoiding a fill the gap situation. The bullish sentiment is incredible. So while these sleep, these can take off and up we go. This is in spite of gamma this and gamma nothing. Just bye, bye, bye. One track mind. Look at the size of the Q's bust here. This is NVIDIA joining Apple, joining Amazon, who knows. These guys, if they want to rest, they can rest. These guys can take us to the next level. Very interested to see what Friday ends up. We have the potential to be at a new all-time high by Friday, and if we are, then people will start be talking about 20% rally. And if we are, I will buy calls and sell calls. I will sell naked calls twice as many as the ones I buy, more, 3-1. I would join the party just because I want to short big time. I don't think we have the fundamental situation to say 20% new high on this set of circumstances that we have. We have too many question marks for Wall Street to be able to sustain that 20% above the high, because that would be justifiable target. Any stock, you give me any stock that looks like the S&P right now on any time frame, 30 minutes or 30 months, and you tell me it's going to break out, and I'll tell you, okay, if it does and it's confirmed, we're going there. I don't think we have that set up for it. So the way to cautiously short is by being long short term. So if I sell calls up here, for example, that far off, like 20% higher than current price out in time, and I buy a few calls here for the next 30 days, and they go all the way up to here, these calls will bring me a hell of a lot of greens to let me sit here comfortably, knowing that I can roll these if I get in trouble. Meanwhile, I'm green, green, green. If somebody says, "What do you mean? What are you doing in this rally?" I'll say, "I'm long short term, short long term." Can you short output? I just literally gave out a trade where you sell a call spread and buy a put spread. So does that answer your question? Just today, I wrote it up and posted it in details. So the answer is yes, but not if you're already short and struggling. I hear you mention you have a credit call set for today and one out in time, and now you're adding puts. I'm not sure I would do that. Make sure you don't unbalance your account. Uh, when is the next contract roll? You guys know. Great. That's going to confuse the hell out of people. Last time that was very confusing. I own MSTR covered calls. Call is 815, 590. Collected was 19. I'm up 47% as value. Would you roll it? Okay, good question. So here's a question from somebody. First of all, good job doing that. Somebody that owns shares in MSTR and they sold calls against them. They collected almost 2,000 per contract, and those calls are up 47% in his favor, which means, wait, let me understand it. You own shares and you sold calls, and those calls are up 47% in your favor, so they dropped half in value. Is that correct? You sold a call against shares. Okay. If I sold a call against shares and I'm up 50% and I still have $2,000, or what is it worth now? It's still worth 1,000. So you made 1,000. I wouldn't take it off. I would leave it where it's at. It's doing its job. Its job is to give you cover for $20 of downside. It paid you 10 of that, and if MSTR doesn't stop falling, there's another 10. If you're comfortable of the support level in MSTR, you can buy it back. You would have locked $10 and you would write down whatever your cost for the shares is, and it's now $10 lower. So, folks, the scenario was I'm going to make up what he paid for the stock. Let's say he paid $300 for the stock. And then he sold a call that brought him $2K, so $20. And now it's worth $1K, so $10. He can buy the trade back. So you'll pay $1,000 to close it, the sold covered call. So he would have guaranteed himself this much in credits in his pocket cash. So now his price is $290. But in my case, if I'm winning on the my insurance is paying me money. It paid me $10. There's another $10 it can pay me. I would leave it to work. I wasn't trying to make money from the sold call. I was trying to make my position better. So if the stock continues to not rally, this 1,000 will come into pocket, and my entry price will then be 280. Rolling it down, you can. You can buy it for 1,000 and sell it lower if you believe that MSTR is not going to rally back, and collect another 10. Only you can make that decision because you know your entry price in the stock. You guys understand? Okay. So there's somebody that's also, here's another teaching moment. If somebody has a credit call spread for tomorrow and it's kind of in trouble and they cannot babysit it today, should they close it and take the loss? In my hands, I wouldn't. I would deal with it tomorrow morning. Another option would be to roll it another day, up and out. It will be a credit and it will just slow it down and give you another day to deal with it without a gap up open. This red W on my screen says we go to 589.1. Everything on my screen, I'm not kidding, everything on my screen is a rising wedge pointing to hell. Everything. You just cannot bank on it, and you take your reds and you run with them. Look at the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Mathematically, that group of 7 stocks can hold up the S&P. Mathematically, this group can drag the S&P. So if this group decides to come down to the base of today, the S&P will lose a lot of its greens, but the day will still be green. We are up 1.8% and up 2.1% on all indices. 2.1 on the NASDAQ, 2.1, almost 2.2 on the small caps, 1.75% on the S&P. You cannot get more bullish than this, folks. I don't know what the hell they're leaving for the reaction, the upside reaction on NVIDIA if it's up. What are we going to do with all of this enthusiasm? Wow, very impressive. You got to respect it in both directions. Except respect only comes from the bears at this point in time. I respect the upside. I'm open to 700 SPY. Nobody is open to 480 SPY. Nobody. If I take a survey here and I say, what are the odds of going to 480 SPY in the next couple of months? I would get 0 that would take that box on the pool. I'm short Palantir and I'm not stopping. I don't think people are that stupid. They might be silly, but they're not that stupid. Hi, Lori. Compulsive play. I'm in 72.5, 70 Nike credit call spread August 15th. Okay. Are you asking me questions, Compulsive? Or are you making a comment? I'm streaming to YouTube today, in case you guys didn't know. If you want to go, just make a showing for the YouTube. I don't know if there's... It is a public. Go say hi, just to log in some visits. Hang out there for a little bit. Don't close the window right away. That works against me. The algos. You don't have to, but if you want, that'd be great. We do have like 7,800 followers there, but we got to wake them up. There's no way of... Hey, Dan. Not moving? What the fudge? What are you watching? What? We're up 2 friggin' percent. I can't believe you said that. Oh my God. Yeah, no. I don't know what to make of that comment. What do you mean not moving? We went from 589 to 589.6 and halfway back to 589 in the last 20 minutes. Yeah, Mike, Cybertron. That's funny. No, I am not. Don't even say those words jokingly. With my last name, I'm very sure I'm being watched. Momentum. I like that. I know, but you don't know what they're watching. I don't even kid around. Look at the TLT go. Go TLT go. Am I green? Maybe that's what's making me money. It's not on my screen anywhere. That's how much of a snoozer of a trade that was. TLT. Yes, I am green. Woo! I did add, so the original probably is still red. Look at the breakout happening here. This box is from 514. 514 was a large fail candle, so maybe there's some unfinished business inside this box. The purple line is also a significant line from that day. Okay, now I'm jacked up. For some reason, the caffeine is kicking in. Okay, so now we have some change in the gamma. The change is that it's a complete mess. They can go wherever they want, but still, the largest gamma magnet is 5890 SPX. That's the largest one. Second largest one, 5910. That's a change. So now we have dueling scenarios: 5910, 5890. Earlier all day, it's been 5900. Now it's 5910 and 5890. 90 is the largest. 517 is the largest on the Qs, but we won't look at it unless they go below 519. 519 is a hell of support. The SPY is free to, let's see, where is the SPY? 589.50. Ooh, okay. So now 590 is a magnet as long as they're above 589. You lose 589, then you have $3 of downside potential. No downside potential is playing out today. None. They started and then they bounce and they make a higher high. It's a trend day for sure. A trend day on top of a gap day. Very difficult to fight. The QQQ, the RUTY just made a high in the last. Is this a 5-minute chart? I don't know where to look. There's greens everywhere. Gaps and greens everywhere. The VIX futures did not get to 20.3, which is what I was looking. They did hold the low, but they did not get to 20.3. Wow. And if we close here, I think I want to sell a bearish iron butterfly for tomorrow, maybe, or try to capitalize on a surprise struggle for tomorrow. We'll see. Apple, where you at? Apple is perfect. That iron condor was amazing. So if you took it, close it. $55 out of thin air, leaving $30 on the table. That's fine. AMD, Amazon. What am I doing with Amazon? Nothing. I'm golden. Amazon trade is working. ARM. No need to do anything. Boeing. Flat. Awesome. I'm short Boeing, so maybe I'll add to my Boeing short this week. BAC. Down a little bit. I'll leave it alone. Jinxed myself. So Berkshire, I don't understand. I'm short everything under the sun, and today I'm making money. I don't understand. The stock is green, so I guess I'll take it. So I'm short Kava at 35. Why is it still $45 for that put? It isn't. Maybe it is actually. Wow. Holy moly. That's a lot of fear. It's not holding up but $390. So if I don't need the margin, I wouldn't touch it. DB, losing money there. I'm going through my accounts to see what I'm short, to see if I need to worry about anything. Nope, nope. These are okay. I'm not short. Palantir, I'm green. That's nice. I can leave it alone. Oh, I need to go do this. One second, Mike. 1 second. Okay, the algo flow is not divergent anymore and is still positive, but not very positive. It's surprisingly not as positive as it should be. Okay. Yeah, I always have go bags. Yeah, always, Mike, always. We live in earthquake country. You should have go bags, backup power, and everything. Was occupied, credit call spread. Should I wait or roll? Well, if you waited this long, you should wait a little bit longer. You can roll it now, Maria, up and out if you want to. But I think that Nvidia wants to go to 135. Actually, lose 135 to like 134 and a half. If it does, then Apple needs to do a lot more. I don't know if it has it in it. Do I expect a downturn? I don't know what that means. I'm saying you waited this long. I would wait a little bit more. I expected a downturn 2 hours ago and it hasn't materialized. So, yes. But it hasn't materialized. But that's not why I'm telling you to wait. I'm telling you to wait is because there's nothing to lose by rolling it now. Nothing to gain by rolling it now. Now or half an hour from now, I think I can get the same result accomplished. So why not wait? This red W says we can go to 589.10 and 588.80. Gamma pressure suggests that we could have a red tick or two. The VIX hasn't made a lower low in a bit. So maybe we go to this area here, this cluster from which we broke out. So we broke out from my orange box and I said they have 20 minutes to get back below it, but they couldn't hold it. And we got half of my box at least. Visually, we got at least half of my box. So actually, let's measure it exactly. Good Lord. This market, man. $2 of upside. So we did not get to half. Okay, so we might have a little bit more upside. The point I'm making is that this market is giving us some inconsistent sentiment, but overall the bearish sentiment is prevailing more often than the bullish sentiment is prevailing more often than the bearish. So for example, in March we were lower lows, lower highs, very orderly. In April, we panicked, sold everything under the sun, and we panicked and bought everything under the sun. April was the most bullish month I've ever seen in my entire life. Bar none, no month ever comes close, even though it was the worst month in a long time. The way it ended was I have never seen bullish behavior like what happened in April. Never will I ever see another 12% upside move. I saw a crash up. I never thought I would live to see an up crash. We had an up crash and a down crash too. So after that, now they're all looking up, but they have bursts of shaky. Like last week, oh my gosh, tariffs. And today, yay, tariffs. An up 3% day, really, on this bullshmuts headline is weird. It's just weird. It shows no intellect. When Jamie Dimon is trying to trade the market by talking headlines, that's weird. Like, this is the god of all the banks, right? JP Morgan, I use CNBC's terms, the cream of the crop when it comes to banks, JP Morgan. When I used to watch CNBC, that was the cream of the crop. And the head of the cream of the crop bank, the head of the best bank on the planet, is saying what he's saying, trading like he's trading, taking a position and rolling it up the same day. 120,000 contracts. Take it, unwind it, and roll it up. What? Who does that? Roll it up like $15. Some ridiculously small amount. Like, I wouldn't even roll up my credit call spread $15 this early. Wow. That was unbelievable. Very emotional market. Which should mean that we make some money off of that if we keep our head screwed on straight. All right. So let's see. Mega caps, super strong, not getting weaker. This is basically the mega caps. That's the QQQ. Those are the mega caps. This red formation has been here all day. All day. Look, all day. It's as long as this doesn't get to the purple, this downside is available, but it's not kicking in. Okay, so that's one statement to answer if I expect downside. If this happens, there is downside. These are the collection of the ETFs, and they keep getting stronger, tag teaming. We have a good strong move from the XLV, rising wedge, susceptible to drops out of nowhere. XLI, same. XLF, same. The TLT now is rallying. It looks like the markets love the TLT now. 2 days ago, they hated it. Now they love it. Then they hate it. Then they love it. They just want to rally, period. They just believe in the upside. Even people that are smart in this room believe in no downside, that we buried the lows, we're never going back. I don't know how anybody can believe that. But you can't fight that sentiment without being very careful with the timing, the ways you fight it, the balance you keep in your account. So my fault is not convincing more people to go long in bigger sizes. I guess if I were to criticize how I handled the correction, we handled it properly. We went long. At no point did I say buy a put, not one, to protect. But I could have pounded the table louder to go longer. In all fairness, we did have a lot of question marks, which is why I say when you put alerts to buy dips in stocks, put an insult in there to yourself. Like call yourself an idiot. Just so you'd remember that you're going to be scared. You're going to ask yourself to do something pretty difficult, trying to catch a falling knife. Ooh, the VXX. We could be at 590 and 91 today. I'm waiting for the VXX. Now it's a penny, 2 cents away from the lows of the day. A minute ago, I needed it to go to 20.3, and now I need it to not go to 20.08 because that would be, there we go, boink, big candle. Although no new low on the VXX, but just 2 pennies away. Who is it? Qs, so one of the big caps on the QQQ. What time is it? No headlines. Okay. Nope. Nope. Maybe Microsoft. Google. Google has been a leader for quite a bit. Last week, the market was having an issue. Google stepped up. Buying dips and higher high. Buying dips and higher high. They won a 3% day, I guess. Let's go. Meta. Yeah, Meta too. So it's a social media headline. Yep. Google and Meta go hand in hand. They're the same type of business. Okay, Joe. Well, this early in the day, we have options. Can you hear me? So I can walk you through the options. Okay. So if I had a credit call spread for today and it's at the money or in the money, first of all, your odds of success are still 50-50. So it's not like you're losing. You're just at even keel with the other person. You're losing out of pocket, but if the bell rings, you have a 50-50 chance of not losing anything. Your break even point is probably within $1. So 59.06, I would say. 15. I don't know if it was an Iron Condor or what. If it's just a credit call spread and you only collected $50, then 59.05.5 is your break even point. Okay. So it's now 290 to close it. And it is 290 to open it for tomorrow. So you can close it for today, open it for tomorrow, cost you nothing, and you live to fight another day. You can totally do that right now. And when you roll it the next day, you will also have the opportunity to sell a put spread for tomorrow. That's one way to deal with it. You would avoid maximum loss, and you would have another day to deal with this. If we gap down tomorrow, problem solved. If not, you have another day to roll it again. And mind you, it hasn't cost you anything. Wow. Hello. Someone declared world peace. The VIX futures still no new low. Okay, then. So it's the mega caps and all the ETFs. So it's a system-wide burst, and we are officially up 2% across all indices, 2% or more. Let's zoom out. This is the 593 level from May 22nd, first. So we buried May 22nd. We're into the May 21st. I addressed those two levels in my video from yesterday. So whatever scared us here, hey, it's not a problem anymore. We leave a gap on top of a gap. We're going to the moon. No more red ticks. If somebody asks me about this stock, can I go long? I'll say, you waited so long, going long into a prior fail, you want a miracle pop above that level, then you get to 601, 602, no problem. But ideally, you don't want to buy a call going into that. If you're going long, you should know that you have to be good with the stop loss. Going long is buy the next dip, and we are getting small dips. That's the statement. Okay, so we zoomed out. We go back to here. I can't find the ES level on my Thinkorswim. It's locked up. The put spread, $50, $60, depends on your thesis. It's not necessary to sell this put spread, depends on your portfolio. The VIX futures does just gap down. It's like my Thinkorswim was stuck. It wasn't giving a quote, and now all the quotes came in. Are we having system problems out there? Because that would explain these bursts. Like if somebody had an outage, my Thinkorswim was completely locked up. The ES was stuck, not quoting anything. That sucks. Okay, so from a Nasdaq perspective, we are going into one standard deviation of upside. So we did twice the usual width, and we're approaching one standard deviation of that. So talk about an extreme move on an index. So if it's Tesla, I wouldn't think twice about it. In fact, Tesla hasn't even reached its limits. Tesla hasn't even reached its limits. Holy moly. Gamma, 590 is the highest gamma. Second highest, 588, SPY. Highest gamma on the SPX right now, 5890. 5890. I would sell an Iron Butterfly at 5895. Iron Butterfly for today. Let's see how much it pays. 5895, $15 wide. Come on, $15? No, 250527. 1280, 1290. 1280, 1290. So I would collect 1300, risking 200. It's kind of like selling an in the money credit call spread or at the money credit call spread. You can do that. Sell an at the money credit call spread, but I like this Iron Butterfly. We did that on Friday and it was great. 1290. So I sell the 5895 credit call spread and the 5895 credit put spread, $15 wide on the same order. And I would immediately put in an order to buy it back for $200 less and see if I can get it. You can roll anytime you want. You can roll now. It shouldn't cost you a thing. If you roll in 20 minutes, it wouldn't cost you a thing. It's the same roll. This early in the day, it's the same price, same roll. The Iron Butterfly, if anybody's interested, pins the highest gamma from the SPX. Okay, now it's the second highest. We're back to 5910 and 5890. The middle-ish, 5895, 5900. You can pin it at 5900. If you pin it at 5900, you probably collect the same. If that's the case, do that one. No, it isn't. The 5900 is $1,200. Well, new for somebody that doesn't have a credit call spread and they're struggling with, so that's not for you. No, you're already in one. No. 5895 Iron Butterfly, $1,290 in credit. That was the trade for today's expiration. You need a drop to win towards 5895. The SPX. So that's a big ask. Yay, Jax. Thank you. I heard the ping on my phone. Thank you. It is now $50 cheaper, by the way. $20, $50, $20 is bouncing. The quotes are wonky because we're moving. 587. Yeah. See, those are happening more often than not these days. That's weird. They rarely happened before. Rarely happen. But then, was it 2 weeks ago? We had these long sticks in the middle of the day, like really long, miles and miles below. And within 2 days, we went to that level. Normally, like this morning, there were some, but you can explain them because they were just overnight. They were overnight and they were covering prior session levels. Normal. This is not normal, what you're seeing here. This BS is not normal. In the middle of the day, flash wicks like that are not normal. But what did I say? Was there a disturbance in the quotes? Because my Thinkorswims froze. So can anybody see those wicks on a different platform? It may be a Thinkorswim thing. Can anybody see those wicks on a different platform? E-Trade, okay, so they actually happen. So it is a system-wide, and that would explain these bursts. Like if they were planning on rallying a little bit at that time earlier and the orders were stuck, they all come pouring in, you get these big bursts because I couldn't match up these big bursts on the VIX or anything. So they just came out of nowhere. That would explain it. Okay, we are winning $60 on that. Close it. Close it. You just made 60 out of $220 risk. Is that 28%, 25%, something like that? Anyway, I would close it. You can, if you don't want to close it, open an order to close it and ask for a number. Okay, I would buy it back at $11.90. Okay, that would give you $80 to $100 in profits, and you wait. And if we have a red tick, you get filled and you're off. The risk is the difference between what you collect, which in my case was almost $1,300, and what you and 15, the width of the spread. So $200, $220. The maximum width of the spread, $15. That's the amount of money you can lose, minus what you collect up front, which is $12.90. It is now quoting 12.15. 12.28, 12.38, 12.43, 12.33. You see? So it's hard to chase it. If you're okay booking X profits, you set the order to book X profit and you leave money on the table. The one from Friday paid $900 at the end of the day, but you had to sweat it for the last minute. Or you take the win of $200 to $300 and you call it a day. Didn't share this AM, but looked. Nice, Josh. Next time, share it if you have conviction. I like it, though. Thank you. Nice work. So one of my accounts is up a lot. Who is it? Oh, Palantir. Gracias, Senor Palantir. And gold. And AMD. Yeah, I'm long AMD. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes'm. 59.20. 59.20. 59.20. In my hands, I would not roll it. You can, absolutely. I don't know how you're managing your iron butterfly on that. And that, I should say. That's pretty amazing. I'll be right back. Okay, so if we make a lower low than 589.80, you should get to 589.20. Setting alerts, sure. Physically setting them or where to put them? Control A. So if I click here and I hit Control A, well, that used to bring out an alert. That's weird. Wasn't it Control A, folks, to give me an alert shortcut? Alt A? I guess so. Wow. Okay, Alt A. All right, so if I wanted to sell a put spread and I see a support zone, I put an alert above it, like right here, and I'll say Alt A, and I'll say what to do. Opportunity for credit put spread coming, or close your puts. If I'm short a credit call spread at 59.20 for today, I'll put an alert at 59.15 that, hey, they're coming at you. Longer term, it's easier. Longer term, it's easier. You don't have to be surgical. They're going to defend that orange line, that red line, aggressively. Let's see what they're going to use. Look how easily the green ticks come. No, they don't need volume. They just need them to happen. And look how wide they are. Easy ticks. Boing. Mega Z. Look at these. Look at this garbage. Like, what? Something happened today in the order flow. I'm convinced this burst was not natural. Something got disrupted in the order flow. It's not a coincidence that we have a long wick. Or here's another scenario. What if, Corey, I'll try to answer that for you over time. Maybe knowledge got disseminated on a high level, like people that are in the know, that are connected, the market makers, the people who have hundreds of millions of dollars invested in the market every day, making the market, got news that we will find out overnight. Either way, it doesn't matter. I still will trade the ranges. I'll trade the studies. The studies say we have a lot of rising wedges. We had a breakout. We said 592. They want to go for that 592. They fell short. The day is young. They can get there. They're buying dips into the moving averages. This is where they bounce and make a higher high. They made, like, look at my chart. They placed, people on YouTube, you do not see what I'm marking up, but you can see that 589.20 area. This dip got us that. This dip got us that. This dip should get us that. So 591.20 should be the next target. Now, how can you beat that rise that just exploded? And notice where it happened, at the upper edge of my box. What did I say was there? What did I literally say this morning was there? Unfinished orders. That was a fair value gap from a while back. Maybe those were the wicks that just got finished and they overshot. So now it would be a great day if they can stay above the box. That would be amazing. I thought they would hit the box, stutter, and tomorrow take it out. No, one day, let's go. In one day, they want to do 2 days worth of work. That's what they did. Up 2.5%, maybe, and stay. That's 2 days worth of work. The VIX, this level, only allows for a 1% move a day. Being up 2.5%, that 2 days worth of VIX. Above and beyond. If I have a credit call spread that's at the money, slightly in the money, slightly above the money, you can move it to tomorrow, the day after, whatever you choose. If you move it to tomorrow, that should be the cheapest. It should be free at this time of day. Later in the day, if there are like 90 minutes left, it becomes very difficult to move because you would be stuck with a credit spread that is appreciating a lot faster than the one you're trying to move it to. You see how they're defending this base? You see how the ticks come so easily? The green ones? But they're not in size. They're thin ticks. They count. The VIX is making a lower low. So the bears have no intention of stopping this. So the bulls will have to pull the plug on it. We have not had, and I've answered you every time. You and a couple other people have the same spread. You can roll it now. You can roll it half an hour from now. In my hands, I think I would accomplish it in the same way. So if I waited this long with a credit call spread, and I have this much time on the clock, which is about 3 hours, I can wait another 10, 15 minutes. I think the roll 10, 15 minutes from now would be the same as now. In my hands, I wouldn't panic if I haven't done it. The delta on the 59.20 is 37. It's still in my favor, 35%, 65%. Okay, if you got disconnected, don't throw it in my face like I'm not answering you. If you know you're disconnected, at least give me the benefit of the doubt. I addressed you more in person than anybody else today. So I think I've been good at that. I even told you not to take the iron butterfly because you have the credit call spreads that you've mentioned over the last few days. The iron butterfly still has not lost money, by the way. Okay, that was smart. All right, let's check on the Google people before we cut them off. Trading this market is not hard. You know how you can make it easier? Somebody on YouTube is complaining. You can make it easier by not trading 0 DTEs. Then you would just have a bad day from which you can recover. All right, YouTube people, I appreciate you. Thank you. Hopefully we'll have hundreds of people on YouTube we can convince to come into our live room. Until then, I bid you adieu over there.